Thank you so much, Sia. I'm really excited to be here. I wish I could high five you right now for that introduction. But I'm also excited to be around or be in the same space, whether in spirit or physically, with other entrepreneurs, other hustlers, other people who are out there to get it and not waiting for anyone to come give them something, right? So, as introduced, my name is Lethabo Mpomokwena, and I'm the owner of Walkfresh, a sneaker cleaning business. Originally based in Davidson, but like the introduction said, we went on to open stores nationally. When I was approached about this convention, I said easy yes, because I am a product of direct selling. My auntie used to sell, and every month when I was in varsity, she used to send me 1,000 rand a month from those sales. So I think for me, this was kind of like a full circle, and to be in a space or to be in the room or to be in the same energy with people that have been doing that, that are doing that, I think I'm really excited, right? So today, what I'm here to talk about is really the staying power that's required, right? So I'm just gonna go through who I am, just those nitty-gritties so that you know who's in front of you, but more than that, why I'm here will be unfolding as we talk, right? So as I go through the presentation, as I have this conversation with you guys, it'd be lovely for you guys. Jump on your phones, share this experience with other people. DSA Convention 2025. I think a lot of people have to hear about this because I really believe a lot of opportunities are coming out of this network, coming out of this convention, and I hope we can all network with each other. So, as said, my name is Lethabo Mpomokwena. My grandmother named me Mpo because I am a gift to my family. Born and bred in Davidson, Ekurhuleni, grew up there, township boy, went to Melodu, went to Kalema, went on to do my undergrad at UJ, went to do my undergrad at Boston, and I really started falling in love with selling, right? So even now and then in varsity, she'll give me some units to go sell for her, and then I will split the profits, right? And I think from there, selling from there, it just became a natural thing for me, right? Went on to graduate with a degree in corporate communications where I majored in branding and marketing. So for me, it was such a nice mixture of my experience in selling and really not being afraid to approach people and say, hey, I have this amazing product I think will change your life, right? And then fast forward 2015, I come back home from varsity. And if you're from the township, you understand there's always guys sitting at the corner, chilling there, doing nothing. And I had found my childhood friends still sitting there after I'd left 6 years ago, right? And one day I come back from work and all of them are chilling at the store, chilling their mom's sneakers, like Katlachot chilling his mom's sneakers. And I said to him, bro, why don't you get paid, right? Because if you're from the township, you know, if you're working every now and then, you have to give people 5 rand here, 10 rand there, right? And I said to him, yo, man, I really think if we start this thing, like we could really build something that's worthwhile for all of us, right? And naturally, everyone laughed at me, right? Everyone said, no, man, no one's gonna pay us for cleaning daily sneakers. And I think that's when I had my aha moment. But I think honestly, I owed that to the spirit I had already had of selling, right? And I'll always keep circling back to selling and I'll make it make sense at the end, right? So 2015, we're sitting there, go shopong, we're cleaning, Katlaho's cleaning his mom's sneakers. I said, brother, I think we can turn this into a business. Everyone laughed. I had 700 rand saved for petrol because I was traveling from work to home. I used that money, I bought all the cleaning material, and I came back following day and said, gents, if you guys start cleaning, I'll go find the clients, right? Because remember, I was still employed, right? And this is why I strongly believe in side hustles. I strongly believe in, even if you do have a job, there's always other ways that you can make a revenue, right? Especially in this climate that we exist in this economic climate that we exist in as young South Africans, there's there's never enough hustles, right? I also have several other businesses that I'm involved in. Direct selling is also one of them. People don't know this. But I said to the guys, look, guys, I'll go get the clients and you guys clean the sneakers. Started doing the business. First month, we cleaned 45 pairs. And I said to the guys, nope, let's stop. Let's see how we can formalize this thing, right? And then fast forward, then started building the business. We're still working from a backyard, right? That's why I really don't like people that undermine humble beginnings, right? You always have to start somewhere. And wherever you are, that's the perfect place to start, right? I started Walk Fresh with 700 rands that I had saved for petrol. That's why I always encourage people. It doesn't have to be rocket science. You don't have to reinvent anything that's already there, right? So 2015, we started working from my friend's backyard, Kostupung in the backyard with scrubs and green bar soaps and all of those things. Because I've always said to people, sneaker cleaning is not new. We're just the only guys that formalized it at the time, right? So that's why I don't believe in always trying to reinvent things that are already there. If something works, if something has traction, it's just a plug and play. You pick a spot, you pick an audience, you get your clients, and go home with a profit, right? So we start the business, and today these are the services that we offer. We run sneaker cleaning, we have polishing, everything that has to do with shoes, basically, right? Because naturally, or in the back in the day, you have like one guy who's repairs shoes there, one guy who's polishing your shoe there at the corner. And we said, how do we integrate this into one place where we can just come, drop off your shoes, we clean them, you pick them up, or we deliver, right? So I think that's just a brief background of who I am. But I think what's consistent is my ability to keep going, right? And this is why today Workfresh has 4 stores. We have a store in Sandton City, we have a store in Cape Town, Canal Walk, we have another one in Davidson, which is our flagship store where we started, and we have another one in Alberton. But I think the point is not the stores, but the point is the results of the consistency, right? And this is where I'm going with this conversation today, to say, as young people, we've been accused of being inconsistent. We've been accused of being instant gratification people, right? So I think today I'm here to prove and also to encourage you guys to say, if you start something, see it through, and it's inevitable. The results will be there. So today, Workfresh boasts 4 stores across the country. We have 14 employees full-time. We have 6 employees part-time. We manufacture our own detergents. But all of this, fundamentally, the center of it is selling, right? Me, I was taught early when I was an entrepreneur, your first job as a business owner, whether you're a founder, whichever word you want to use, fancy word, CEO, your first job is selling. If you can sell yourself, if you can sell your business, then you can't exist in the business world. You can't survive in the business world, right? And that's why I'm so happy that today, at least I have an audience of people who understand that, an audience of people who are not scared to stand in a corner and say, hey, my product can change your life, right? So we have these stores, have employees, and all of those problems, right? And these are some of the brands that we've worked with. And again, with all the brands that we work with, we say, guys, this is what we're doing. This is the value you add. We exchange our profits, right? So we've worked with several brands across the country, both in corporates. We've also done collaborations with other people and all of those things, right? To a point where even my alma mater, my university, say, hey, Lethabo, can you come to the school to come do something with us? We do work with high schools and all of the stuff. So that's just a brief background of who I am and where I'm from and what it took to get to where I am, right? And you'll see also in this conversation, as I have this conversation with you guys, that everyone can start something, but it's really about the guys that stick it out, right? I was in an interview somewhere, someone said to me, what sets Workfresh apart? Why are you guys still operating? And I said, I could have so many sophisticated answer, right? So I could have so many sophisticated answers. I could say because of our market research, because of, big English. But I said to him, when I sat down and I analyzed the business over the years, I said, what are the clients saying about us? Because first things first, you have to listen to the client, right? We did a surveys, and one insight stood out for me. One of my clients said, you guys are always open when you say you're going to open, right? And I think that for me, that stood out because it just reaffirmed and just showed us that the importance of consistency, right? The importance of not giving up, the importance of saying, I'm going to be here, even if you're not going to buy today, but you know where to find me. I'm still there. I'm not one guy today. I'm doing this. Tomorrow, you'll find me doing that. If I'm this guy who sells sneaker cleaning detergents, you come back end of the year, I'm still selling sneaker cleaning detergents. You come back next year, I'm still doing that. So when our client, a very good client of ours, she's been a client with us for so many years, she said, Lethabo, one thing I appreciate about Workfresh is the staying power. You guys open. And I think I'm circling back to what I said, and I use the word accused deliberately, right? Because I don't think all young people are lazy. I don't think all young people are inconsistent or give up easily. I really think a lot of young people need guidance. And that's why I'm happy to be in this room, because being part of this convention, being part of this organization or network rather, you have support of such great heritage brands. The systems are there. The network is there. It's just now your effort to say, okay, how high can you take it? I won't forget when my aunt surprised my grandmother with a first car. because of that direct selling, I'm able to have a vehicle today, right? So, and this is more than 10 years ago, right? So he's still selling it today, by the way, right? So for me, I always encourage other young people to say, dude, you don't have to sit in the corner and do nothing, right? There are platforms like these. There's organizations, there's companies that are willing to plug you in, and all you need to do is to be consistent, right? And like I said, for us as Walk Fresh, it's always been about what's the vision and where are we going. It's easy to sell, but you also have to have your own vision to say, okay, cool. If my target is to sell 50 units a month, what's my target for the year? And once you start looking at it like that, then you realize that you actually have a job, you actually have income, right? Because I really believe that as young people, we need to demystify the concept of a job, right? A job doesn't necessarily always have to be, I go into the office, I sit down, I offer my service, and I go home, right? I think we need to get ourselves to a point of an income, right? Maybe we need to challenge the concept of a job and say, do you have an income instead of saying, do you have a job? Because once a person says, I have an income, they're not ring fenced on where they're making it, right? So for us, if you look at the slide, the first parts there, you'll see we're working in a big room. Our office was Tabang's big room. We're cleaning from the floor and all of that. And then at the bottom there, you'll see where we are now. We have our own official head office. We have our own shops and, right? And I think that why it's important for me to tell this part of the story is that it's also important for you to track your progress. Because once you're able to track your progress, then you'll see that the things that you're doing are not in vain. But then if you're living hand to mouth, then you'll be disgruntled because you feel like you're not doing anything, right? So for us as Walk Fresh, I always sit down with the team every year, right? I moved from having a 2-man team to having a 14-man team right now. Well, men and women, right? To say, guys, what have we done in the past year? And this is something that I'd like to charge you with, right? To say, from today, sit down, especially towards the end of the year now, say, okay, next year, what am I selling next year? Okay, I've already sold this. I'm good at this. I have a captured audience. How do I 10x this? How do I move from having 20 clients to 40 clients, to 60 clients, to 80 clients, right? Because once you have that vision for yourself, then you'll understand what's required for that, right? Because I always encourage people, especially with the other people that I mentor, I always say to them, you have to see yourself moving from a hustler to a business owner, right? Once you adopt the mentality of saying, okay, I'm selling this, I'm a business owner, then you start adopting that mentality. Then you suddenly see yourself making business cards. Then you suddenly see yourself creating a WhatsApp group with your clients and all of that, right? Once you switch your mentality to say, I'm a hustler, I'm just doing this, which is good at the beginning, right? But I always want to challenge people to have a vision of long term, to say, sharp, I'm a hustler today, selling there, selling here, there, but what's my plan? 2026, November, what am I doing? Are my t-shirts branded, or do I just walk into a client with the product? You have to represent what you're saying, and you have to represent what you're selling to show the confidence that you have, and even that translates to the clients, right? So these are some of the things that I have back and forth with my team. I mean, even in my team, I have direct sellers. I have guys. I know my store manager. One of my store managers. She's a direct seller, and she says to me, "Lethabo, I appreciate this job, but I'm making so much money in this job, in this side gig that I have, right?" And I'm saying, look, for me, I'm not obsessed with the concept of a job. What's important is revenue. Are you making an income? Is this income able to sustain you and make sure that you're thriving in your family space? So for me, that's why we have these principles at Walk Fresh. You have to have the vision. You have to have the tenacity. And tenacity is important, right? Because giving up is easier than starting, right? And I think that's what differentiates us in this convention to everyone else who's sitting, waiting for a grant somewhere or for someone to feel sorry for them, right? For us, I'm sure all of us have had so many reasons to give up. I'm sure that so many of us have had clients returning products and say, oh, this is that and that. But the fact that you're in this room with us in this convention, it means that you're one of the people that have the tenacity this requires, right? Because if you didn't, then you wouldn't be here. It's not for everyone, unfortunately, right? People say everyone can be a hustler. I said, no, actually, it's either you have it or you don't. Some people build it over time, but I'd like to believe that the true hustlers, the true business owners are people that can sell, because that's your first responsibility. So today, that's one of the things that I'm charging you with, to say, go back home, Shortlist the items that you want to sell. Shortlist the companies that you want to engage with. Next year, I think I'm going to add 2 more items, and then I'm going to push myself to make these sales, right? And like I said, one of my favorite quotes is consistency breeds familiarity, familiarity breeds confidence, and confidence breeds sales, right? Once you're consistent, you'll also become familiar. You also suddenly have your script for different clients to say, if this client is grumpy, this is how I'm going to approach them. If this client has already bought from me, this is how I get them on a payment plan or on a monthly recurring purchase, right? And once you build that confidence within yourself first, once your clients are familiar with you, they know, oh, like mang, this person sells this, then the sales start flowing, right? And then you see, I saw it with my business. I was taught early, and I think it would also be a parting shot, right? I was taught early when I was a young entrepreneur, 9 years ago, to say, you're better off with a returning customer than a new customer. A new customer is really good, but service your customers, right? And I think this is also advice to say, maybe you must also now and then in a 6 months period, go back and look at your customer list and say, okay, cool. This person last bought from me August 2023, right? Let me go back to them and say, hey, I actually have something new. I have something better. I have something that you can like. Or did that work? What can we do better, right? Because again, my favorite quote, it's actually in my office. Consistency breeds familiarity. Everyone knows, Lethabo, the sneaker cleaning guys, right? And through that, I have my own confidence. The clients have confidence in me because they understand this guy is there. Just like the client said during our survey, you guys are always open. You have to hold yourself to that standard, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, especially as a seller, especially as a hustler, right? But more than that, that confidence breeds sales, right? That once you have that confidence, it becomes your second nature. You know the prices off by head. You understand which client wants what. You understand how to upsell other clients. But more than that, you're able to sell to other business people. For me, that's my favorite thing to do. If I can convert someone else who's selling, then that's when I'm like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, right? So that's my favorite quote. I think you can go home with it. And this year we turned 10 years as Walk Fresh, right? We turned 10 years. We've been cleaning sneakers since 2015. We have other products that we're busy with. We're selling our shampoo and all of those things. And when we were sitting with the team and we reflected, we said, what does 10 years mean for us as Walk Fresh? Kokasi, what does 10 mean in the township, right? And anyone who watches soccer, which is what we're obsessed with in the township, 10 years for the superstar, right? It's for the Messi, Lionel Messi, right? But when we sat down with the team, we look back and say, why are we here? How did we get here? And again, it was a tenacity. You have to stick it out, right? You have to have the tenacity. You have to wake up and say, okay, I did 2 sales today. I was targeting 5. Tomorrow I'm going to do 8, right? But you have to have the endurance. This thing is not easy. That's why not everyone is in this convention, right? It's not easy, but you have to have the endurance. And more than that, you have to be stubborn. In Zulu, you have to be stubborn. You can't easily take no for an answer, right? Don't let people who are scared inflict that on you or impose that on you, right? So for us, and this is what I always say to other people that are selling different things, I was working in town in Cape Town, and this guy said, "Oh no, I have 2 rand. I was from an interview, and I know that's scam, right?" But I said to him, "My brother, I think you have the energy to sell. Change your story, right? So you have to have that stubbornness to say, this is not working. Let me try this." But giving up can't be an option. And I think that's why I initially said we're accused of that. And I hope next year I'll be part of the convention in a different manner, maybe. And I hope I'll be able to engage with people who said, hey, I was here last year. I heard you talk. I'm actually here again this year. And I hope we don't become one of the people that are nowhere to be found also. And then the stereotype is consistent to say, well, young people just start something and they don't finish. It took me 7 years to finish a 3-year degree. People are shy to say stuff like this, but I say it proudly because it shows my consistency. It shows that I start and I finish, right? And I think that's something that we must charge ourselves with as young people going forward, because that's what the country needs. Peace out.